Hey everyone, Nick from Mossy Creek with this week's fly fishing forecast. Today is Monday, October 8th. We got a lot of good stuff to talk about as far as water conditions, stocking, weather, all that. We'll get into that in a second. Before we get started, I just wanted to remind people, or if you haven't heard, we are taking the fly truck out this weekend. We'll be up north of here at Dirt Farm Brewing in Bluemont, Virginia. So pretty much right in between like Winchester and Leesburg. So any of you folks up that way, we would love to see you on Sunday. If you haven't been to Dirt Farm, they have a phenomenal property. It's beautiful, lots of picnic tables and space outside with the leaves changing. It's gonna be a perfect fall day to be out there. So we'll be bringing the truck. We'll have, rods, all the gear you need. We'll be there doing free casting classes, spooling up reels. We'll have a whole thing of lines if you want to cast some rods you haven't casted before. And of course, we'll have flies, leaders, tippets, wader boots, all that. So we'd love to see you Sunday. If you have questions or if there's anything you want to make sure is on the truck, please give us a call. We'll be packing that up on Friday. So if you'd let us know before then, we'd be happy to try and accommodate that and get that on the truck. So hope to see you there Sunday. Let your friends know. We'll be up there and looking forward to seeing everybody. So weather looks awesome this week. It's nice and cool. Highs in the 72 range, lows mid 60s, some cooler nights, feeling a lot like fall. We've got some really good flows kind of left over from the hurricane, so we'll talk a little bit more about that. But stuff's finally kind of coming out of flood stage and getting to a good fishable level. So starting up in our mountain streams, just about everything should have water right now. There's some places that are still probably going to be running pretty full, but should be well within their banks and fishable. We've got a few weeks left before the brook trout spawn starts to kick off, so this is a great time to get out there, especially if you like brook trout fishing. With the higher water, don't be afraid to fish some little heavy streamers, jig nymphs, maybe under an indicator just so you can adjust it and put split shot. They're still pretty opportunistic fish, so if you want to fish a dry fly and some of the riffles and heads of pools and stuff, you may still catch some on top, but I'd imagine you probably do best subsurface. So get out there and enjoy that while we got a few more weeks of it. The state's been out stocking the last couple weeks. For those of you who aren't as familiar, the first was kind of the start of when the state stocks a lot of our put and take water, special reg, delayed harvest, lakes, ponds, reservoirs, that type of stuff for the fall and going into the winter. If you Google like Virginia trout stocking, there's a page that'll pop up, and every day as they stock places, they'll announce that. So it's a great place to go. If you're just getting back into fishing or just getting out and you want to look and see what's been stocked and what's in good shape, it's a good place to start. The Cowpasture, the Bullpasture, Spring Run, the Tye, Dalfat, Jackson Special Reg, a lot of those really popular places have been stocked, a lot in Bath County and some others. So make sure you take a look at that list every day as some stuff pops up. Especially your delayed harvests and put and take waters, a lot of those places are designated that way because they don't hold fish year round. So for instance, if you go to North River delayed harvest right now, it hasn't been stocked yet, and there's probably not fish because it doesn't really hold stuff over through the summer, especially with low clear water like we had this year. So make sure before you go hit some of those designated streams that you've at least seen one stocking on that schedule to know that there's fish in there and it's ready to go. So take a look at that list. There's some others I didn't mention. A lot of these freshly stocked places, your streamer fishing will be good. I love fishing crelexes, thin mints, slumlords, some of those flies that are heavy and get down and you can jig and twitch and kind of piss off the fish and they'll come chase it down and eat it. That can be a great way to fish. Your attractor nymphs will do the trick too. Squirmies, eggs, big pheasant tails, hare's ears, that type of thing. Probably be a little bit on the larger side of stuff right now just to make sure you're getting down in a little bit faster water. So Spring Creeks has still been fishing good. Had some great reports from Beaver and Mossy. They're still running a little bit full, a little bit dirty, but the fishing's been good. So big, heavy, dark streamers, bigger profile nymphs, that type of thing. There's still some grasshoppers around. They'll typically be around until we get a couple really hard frosts. It looks like later in this week we might get pretty close to some of that. Now that doesn't kill it overnight, those hoppers still kind of slowly die off and trout don't immediately know they're gone all of a sudden, but it'll really will tail off. So if you want to get in some last terrestrial fishing, get out there, go fish your hoppers, plop some big stuff along the banks, and you might see some fish still come up and chase them. Fish a dry dropper, fish a streamer on its own. You know, that'll be kind of the last real consistent dry fly fishing, and then we'll be primarily subsurface going into the fall. But been fishing great. We've had some great water, some color. A lot of those streams have been so clear for so long. It's awesome just to be fishing dirty water and fish streamers and that type of stuff. Back to the stocked water thing, I did put out some golden retrievers today. We just got peach, white, and pink. They don't usually last really long, so if you love the golden retriever, I would get on right now and go see if there's a few left. The bigger rivers are starting to come down a little bit. The South Fork's still pretty full. You know, if you're fishing like a jet boat or a raft or something, you could get out there, but it's, you know, flow-wise, it's still pretty tough. It's going to continue to drop and get better and better. The musky fishing and going into kind of the fall smallmouth fishing should be really good as that water falls a little bit. Right now it's full enough that, especially if you're like fly fishing for musky, it's really hard to get your fly and your line down just because it's sweeping so fast. So look for that water to fall, and then if you get out there, focus on some of that protected waters and you know, the eddies and backwaters. Those smallmouth are going to start to move towards their winter holes, and so instead of stuff being spread out throughout the whole river, focus on some of those deeper holes and places that they'll kind of congregate towards. So we hope everyone has had a great weekend, and get out there, enjoy this weather, enjoy the water, places getting stocked. It's feeling, you know, a lot like our fall fishing. We hope to see you at Dirt Farm this weekend. And as always, if you have questions about anything, don't hesitate. Just give us a call. We would be happy to help. We'll see you next week.